Let's get it. 580 Sports Talk is live and direct on a Red Friday. Yeah, it's still a Red Friday. The game doesn't matter, but it is still a Red Friday on 580 Sports Talk. We are with you for the next 2.5 hours, give or take, on the sports voice of Kansas. 580 WIWW FM 104.9, online at 580WIBW.com, and live and direct on our video streaming channels. 580 Sports Talk on News on Facebook. I am Dan Lucero. Spencer Dupuis is across the glass. Yes, he is across the glass. Start the show today. That's a fun change. And
it's just very weird to come in here and not have had somebody already in here.
I've kind of gotten used to, the 3 o'clock hour is the Dan hour. That's where I get to do my thing, stretch my legs, talk bad about you guys. But no, it's great to have you with us. Spencer Dupuis across the glass. Brendan Dworzinski is in Oklahoma with Washburn women's basketball. And that is why he is not on the program today, though you will hear his voice later on the program today. Lots to get to in these 2.5 hours before we bring you 580 Prep's Game of the Week doubleheader action, our final high school sports broadcast of the calendar year 2025. We got a good doubleheader up ahead for you tonight from Tecumseh in Shawnee Heights High School, where the Thunderbirds host the Topeka West Chargers in girls and boys basketball. Boys game is a matchup of top 10 teams in Class 5A. So should be two great games tonight. We'll have pregame coverage at approximately 5:30. Girls game to follow about 15 minutes after that. Boys game to follow. So I hope you'll join myself and the coach, Larry Latimer, for the play-by-play action tonight on the 580 Preps Game of the Week. That is, again, starting at 5:30. So we're a little truncated today, but we got a great show up ahead for you today. It is a Red Friday. We are previewing Chiefs-Titans a little bit differently. It's weird to do keys to the game when it doesn't matter who wins, right? Like, the Chiefs could win by 40, lose by 40. It wouldn't change anything fundamentally. It might make you feel better if they were to win by 40. It might put a smile on your face, hop in your step, make you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. But whether they win by 40 or lose by 40, we already know that the playoffs are out of reach. And these final 3 games, these are the first meaningless games pertaining to playoff seeding or playoff chances that the Chiefs have played in a long time. Since 2017, the Chiefs had been one of 3 teams to never play a meaningless game. That was the year Mahomes got drafted, right?
Yeah.
The Chiefs had not played a meaningless game since 2017. Can you name, Spencer, the 2 other teams that still haven't played a meaningless game since 2017? I'll give you a hint. They're in the same division.
The Buffalo?
No. Teams that have not played a meaningless football game.
The Rams?
No, not wrong conference.
So in the AFC.
The AFC, 2 teams in the same division.
The Jaguars?
No. You could argue every game the Jaguars have ever played is meaningless. That's not fair to them this year.
Are they in the Chiefs division?
No, they are not. The only teams that have not played meaningless football since 2017 are the Steelers and the Ravens.
Oh,
they have not.
I don't even know why I didn't even think about that. I should have thought about that.
Yeah, that was
because the Steelers are like the only team to ever go and not have like a below 500 record in like the entire time Mike Tomlin's been head coach.
Trevor was on it in the YouTube comments. Yeah, a bit of a head slapper once you hear it. But yeah, the Eagles are the only other team to have played fewer meaningless games than the Chiefs. The Chiefs number by the end of the season is going to be 3. The Eagles have played 1 meaningless game since 2017. The Chiefs were at 0, and they will be at 3 by the time this regular season ends. But that begins with a trip to Tennessee to take on the Titans, who you probably haven't noticed because who's keeping track of the Tennessee Titans? But like, they fired their coach back in week 5. They're a mess. Cam Ward at times looks the part of a franchise quarterback. So it sort of feels like they've got the foundation under center that they can feel good about, but not a lot else going right for the Titans. So in lieu of real hardcore keys to the game, we're just going to give you a couple of things that will be important to the result, certainly, but also things that we'll be looking for, things that we're curious to see, things that we're wondering going into the first meaningless Chiefs game of the Patrick Mahomes era. We've also got our big Chief predictions and our game picks as well, the season-long ongoing competition. Matt Derrick, our Chiefs insider, will join us at the bottom of this hour, as he does every Friday. We'll get Matt's thoughts on the upcoming game and what it has been like around the Chiefs in a week like no other since the Patrick Mahomes era began. Because not only do you not have anything to play for, you don't have Patrick Mahomes, obviously out with the torn ACL. So we'll get Matt Derrick's perspective on that coming up here in this 3 o'clock hour. In the 4 o'clock hour today, we'll have our 580 Sports Talk Picks contest. It's coming down to the wire. But we will devote the majority of the 4 o'clock hour today to the What Is Wrong With You Year in Review. Yesterday, we crowned our December champion, meaning we have a champion for every month. And next week, on the 3 shows that we will do, we will be on the air Monday and Tuesday. We'll take Christmas Eve and Christmas Day off, and we'll do a show on Friday, our final show of 2025. On those shows, we will conduct the voting for the Tournament of Fail Champions. And we will get down from 12 to 8 on Monday, 8 to 4 on Tuesday, and from 4 down to our 2025 What Is Wrong With You champion on Friday. But in case you have not followed along all year long, in case you would like to remember, okay, wait a minute, who's in this thing? Who's in this tournament? We've got the What Is Wrong With You Year in Review coming in the 4 o'clock hour. We're going to re-rack all 12 monthly champions. The initial broadcast, the day they were first brought to the show, the initial reactions, the jokes, the laughs, the fun we had with all 12 of these stories. So even if you can't remember all the way back to January and who was our What Is Wrong With You champion in the month of January, it was the fascist falconer, by the way. That's our only international story that enters the Tournament of Failed Champions this year, I believe. But we will run them all back for you in the 4 o'clock hour on the What Is Wrong With You Year in Review. We're going to get that cranked up at about 4:15 or so. So looking forward to having that as well. Vance asked if past yearly winners are posted somewhere. They are not. We've got to do something where we, keep track of these for posterity. Unfortunately, we don't have a complete record of the broadcast of every single What Is Wrong With You yearly champion. I don't have the file for the 2020 and 2021 champions, but we have all the other years from 2017 to 18, and then 22, 23, 24, 25. We have all of those. We have all of those files. We should put them together.
I have a behind the scenes question. Was that like your thing? Was that what you did?
It was not. I didn't start it. So What Is Wrong With You used to be just a one-off. When I started here in September, it was a 2-hour show, and it was just a one-off. Like, hey, yeah, what is wrong with you today? It's like one story, and we laugh at it, and we keep it moving. We introduced the contest aspect of it in 2017, turned it into a competitive thing. As the year went along, like, okay, who wins the week, who wins the month, who wins the year. The first What Is Wrong With You champion 2017 was the grilled cheese standoff. Gentlemen had a literally standoff with a SWAT team because somebody took a bite of his grilled cheese sandwich and he got a gun out and started threatening his family. And SWAT had to get involved over a grilled cheese sandwich. Yeah, so high bar. It's still one of my favorite ever What Is Wrong With You. And we have the audio of that. We have the audio of our 2018 winner, Tailpipe Girl. And we have the audio of the number one dad who won it all in 2019, the guy who stole Girl Scout cookie money from his daughter and used it to get an erotic massage and then tried to stage a robbery at his house to explain why the money wasn't there anymore. Incredible story. Yeah, right? Right? You see why I won, right? I don't have the Wrong House demolition from 2020. I'm sure if I dug enough, I could maybe find it. 2021's winner was the board bridge jumper. That was a year I wasn't here at all for, so I have no recollection of what month that even was. But then 2022, we had the family funeral feud. 2023 was, because 2024 was Dogless Like a Panda. And 2023 was, oh my gosh, it's killing me. It's the only one I can't remember off the top of my head. Meat Suitcase. The Meat Suitcase. Yeah. An all-time, that was one that maybe could have only have won in our YouTube era because the visual was so good. But anyway, we don't have those posted anywhere, but we should get those up for posterity. Maybe we'll get the audio up and we'll throw it on our YouTube channel one of these days and have a ongoing collection of our What Is Wrong With You champs. Anyhow, that's coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. We got headlines. We got On Second Thought. We got Change My Mind. We got a bunch of fun stuff here on this Friday. And we want to hear from you on the text line, 785-272-9429, 785-272-9429. You can also get at us in the live chat on our YouTube stream. If you are watching live on our YouTube channel, 580 Sports Talk, go check it out. You're not working today. Come on. It's the last Friday before Christmas. You're not doing squats. 316. You're done with your work. Hop on the YouTube channel. Hop in the live chat. Say hello. It's good to see Vance and Mark H. And it's good to see Trevor. Trevor's saying he's feeling bummed out about how 2025 is gone for the Chiefs and the Royals. Asking me to tell him it's all going to be okay. I tell you what, Trevor, J.J. Piccolo's had a good week. 2026 is going to be better for the Royals. 2026 is going to be better.
Well, I don't know. Look at the playoff numbers for the pitcher they just got.
I'm not worried about his playoff numbers. If those come into play, then we had a better year than we did in 2025, right? if those come into play, then 2026 was by definition better than 2025 for the Royals. And Patrick Mahomes' knee is going to heal up, and we'll turn the page on to 2026. There's always next year, Trevor. There's always next year. Anyhow, let's get into the show today. Let's get into a preview of Chiefs Titans. The Chiefs are 3-point favorites. Real quick, Spencer, I'm curious what you think. What do you think the number would be if Mahomes was playing?
They're already 3-point favorites.
They're 3-point favorites. What do you think they'd be favored by if Mahomes was playing?
8.5.
See, I think it would be double digits. I think even though the Chiefs are on the road, I think it would be double digits. Like if everything were the same except Mahomes wasn't hurt. Like if Mahomes had just gotten a bruise, he was playing tomorrow on Sunday. I think they'd be double-digit favorites. I saw a graph.
The reason I say not is because even if Mahomes was there, you're still down top corner.
You are.
And you're down top offensive line guys.
Yes.
You get Trey Smith back.
All of the players who were announced as out today, and there's a very long list of players who are not going to go. Leo Chanel, Trent McDuffie, Jawan Taylor is also out. You mentioned Rashee Rice is out. Tyquan Thornton is out. Like you mentioned those guys. That moved the line from 3 points last night to 3 points today. So that's how much of a difference Vegas thinks those guys made.
I don't know. To me,
so that's why for the line having not moved from where it was, that tells me that is strictly a Mahomes thing. And I do. I think Mahomes is probably worth a touchdown, or more on the line. But neither of us are Vegas insiders, so you'll just have to take our word for it. Anyway, 3-point favorites for the Chiefs. Where you really notice the absence of Mahomes is the total. The total for this game is 37.5. The Titans are really bad, guys. Again, like it's one thing to look at the standings and go, oh yeah, they're 2-12. No, man, it's worse than that. They are 31st in the league in total offense, in scoring offense, in passing offense, in rushing offense are actually 30th, not 31st. And they are dead last in first downs gained. And defensively, they're 28th in scoring, 27th in yards, 25th in passing, 20th in rushing for the Titans. It is it's grim. This is not going to be a game that unless you have a rooting interest, you're probably not dialing into this one. So it's a partial keys segment, but it's also like what to look for. What are we watching for? What are we curious about going into Sunday? And I'll give you mine first. These are my two questions for Sunday. First one I'm really fascinated by. Will Andy Reid and the offense lean on some more creative concepts to get players open or in the running game to try and help his quarterback? Because Patrick Mahomes hasn't really needed to be helped. At least that is the perspective of the offensive coaching staff. So after all these years, especially these last 3 years of, well, Patrick will figure it out. Well, Patrick's not there to figure it out. So do the Chiefs dust off some concepts? Do they try some new things? Do they reintroduce some things to the offense that haven't been there or eliminate some things that have with Mahomes at quarterback to try and make life easier on Gardner Minshew? Because what this game isn't going to look like is Week 18 against the Broncos last year, where Carson Wentz was the quarterback and they did not care genuinely if they did anything good in that game. And they sent Wentz out there with the Tecmo Bowl playbook. 2 passes, 2 runs. They sent him out there with a Tecmo Bowl playbook. They're not going to do that. They're going to play to win this game. A winning season is on the line. They've never had a losing season in the Andy Reid era, and they have to win out to attain that. So they're going to play to win this game, which means they got to play to win with Gardner Minshew as their quarterback. So then what does the offense look like? Do they bring back some things that are plays that other people make for the quarterback instead of being so dependent on the quarterback making the plays for everyone else? I'm just going to say right now, if they do that, I'm going to be pretty hacked off. That's because that's not real fair. That's not real fair to the guy rehabbing an ACL. If he's going to watch his first game after he gets hurt, and he's watching Gardner Minshew hit all these easy button throws for easy 10 yards or break out some gadget plays they hit for explosives, and Mahomes is like, man, you were calling that for me. What the hell, man? So that's one thing. The other thing I'll be looking for is, will the defensive line continue their strong play of late against subpar offensive lines? Titans' offensive line is not very good. Chiefs' defensive line has played well in their last 2 games. Houston's offensive line is bad. The Chargers' offensive line is worse. But the Chiefs have won those matchups decisively after earlier this year not really taking advantage of matchups that felt like they should take advantage of. Will they take advantage of this matchup? Will they get enough heat on Cam Ward to keep the Titans from being able to move the ball? Because you want to talk about a team who's dependent on their quarterback to make things happen, meet the Tennessee Titans. So those are my things to watch for in this game. Spencer, what are you looking to see on Sunday from the Chiefs? What are you curious about?
I'm just curious about them getting into a rhythm offensively. I mean, you kind of just mentioned it. Last time we saw a backup quarterback start a game for the Chiefs, they weren't trying to do anything. They had already locked themselves into a playoff spot, they just needed to play the game to finish the regular season.
They were there out of obligation.
Yes.
They told Carson Wentz, you got up, down, left, right.
As the great Marshawn Lynch said, they were there just so they didn't get fined.
Yes, very true. Very true.
But I want to see Gardner Minshew get into a rhythm early. That's target guys close to the line of scrimmage and then build out from there. Don't just try to bomb it deep. And you got 2 of your guys that can go deep out of this game, because I want to see him connect with Jalen Royals, who's going to be active for this one. And I want to see Jalen Royals get a few catches in this one, because he's a rookie, right? Rookie receivers struggle. The Chiefs themselves have a interesting set of receivers and how they wanted to deploy them this year. Rashee Rice coming back and the emergence of Tyquan Thornton kind of put him behind the 8 ball, I guess, because he didn't get the reps, right? Jalen Royal, and he was hurt to start the season. So if you can get the ball early and often to some guys, especially Jalen Royals, I think that'll help the passing game and obviously try to establish the running game as well. And my other key would be get a push on the defensive line, a couple sacks. That would be great. Just the Titans' offensive line is not good. And I think that's one place. And we heard from Chris Jones. Everybody heard from Chris Jones in the media this week. And he says he wants to end on a high note, even though they're out of the playoffs, and he wants to continue what they've done the last few weeks.
Brendan left us behind a couple of keys to discuss, and Paul hits one of them on the head in the YouTube comments, so we can refer to both of these. Paul says, I'm concerned most with the effort. Can the coaches find a way to motivate the vets? Do the youngsters get a fair look? What does a team with nothing to play for look like against a bad team? Brendan specifically points at the defense and says, how much pride do you have? The Chiefs are out of it, but the Titans are an abomination. They haven't done anything well all year long. Whoever is out there playing for the Chiefs on defense should be able to handle this Titans offense. So that is the question. And I'm less concerned with the coaches motivating the vets as I am with the vets motivating themselves. Like we talked about Travis Kelce earlier this week. That's a prideful guy. I'm not worried about his effort. I'm not worried about his professionalism. He's the last guy I'm worried about. How do the guys on defense want to finish this season? What do they want to put on film for their final 3 games? And one thing that's a factor there is they got a couple of guys out that have some real financial motivations, like Trent McDuffie wants that extension. Leo Chanel wants a second contract, but Jalen Watson wants a second contract. Brian Cook wants a second contract. Mike Dana would prefer, I'm sure, not to be cut. We've already removed him mentally from the 53-man roster. I'm sure that's not something he's real interested in. Jerry Tillery's playing for another contract. He was only a one-year guy. I assume we're going to see some Christian Fulton on Sunday. I hope it's not a lot, but Christian Fulton might be playing for a roster spot, whether it's the Chiefs or not next year. So there's plenty to play for if the players decide that it's there to play for. So that's what I think the tack I would take. Not necessarily the coaches motivating the vets motivating the vets. What motivates them? And we're being honest, and you can love this or not love this, but money is a major motivation. So I think that we'll see some guys playing for second contracts, third contracts, next opportunities, more opportunities in the future with the Chiefs that are going to go out and try to ball out, put some good stuff on film against a bad defense. The other thing that Brendan points out in this game is how do the Chiefs handle Jeffrey Simmons? Because he's a one-man wrecking crew on defense. He is the one guy on the Titans who you say that's probably the top seller other than Cam Ward for jerseys in the team store. That's the guy whose poster you put on the side of the stadium. Jeffrey Simmons is a capital D dude, and he is so influential that the Titans defense, with all of the mediocrity surrounding Simmons, is still 7th best in the NFL in success rate allowed on run plays. They're still outstanding against the run because Jeffrey Simmons exists. So I think if you're the Chiefs, that should alter how you want to try to move the ball. You want to move it away from his direction. That means a lot of off-tackle runs or jet sweeps. Can we see some jet sweeps? That play is like gone from the playbook this year. Can we maybe see some? I don't know. You don't think that might help? Like a little bit. Get some speed guys involved in the offense. I don't know. Just my thoughts. But those are the things we are looking for, the keys to Sunday's Chiefs-Titans clash. We're going to take our first time out here on 580 Sports Talk. When we come back, we'll have our game predictions, our big Chief picks, your reaction in the YouTube live chat and on the text line at 785-272-9429. We are coming back after this, just getting started on this Friday edition of 580 Sports Talk. 3:32 on 580 Sports Talk. Dan and Spencer with you. We've got our Chief game predictions for this Sunday. A noon kickoff at whatever they're calling the Titans Stadium these days.
Nissan.
Is it still Nissan Stadium?
I believe, because I believe it's the new Nissan Stadium that they're building.
They've had so many names for that stadium. I can never keep up. Anyway, Nissan Stadium at noon in Nashville. It is the Chiefs and the Titans. Pre-game coverage for the Chiefs Radio Network at 11 a.m. on Sunday right here on 580 WIWW and FM 104.9. Chiefs are 3-point favorites. The total is 37.5. We're all on the Chiefs. We're all on the Chiefs to cover. We're all on the under. So a lot of uniformity here. Brendan, obviously not here with us today. He is in Oklahoma with Washburn women's basketball. He has a very funny score, 26-11 Chiefs, reflecting his disrespect to the Titans offense and also getting in just under that 37.5 total. So he's got a big Chiefs win and thinks Travis Kelce will be the big Chief of the game. Spencer, who you got, and what's your big Chief pick?
I got George Karlaftis. I think he's going to come off the edge and have a sack this weekend. That was one of my, keys to the game, was getting the defensive line, getting a couple sacks. I think he's going to get one or two and use that, whatever he has on his finger, whatever they call it. The club.
Yeah.
Use the club to get around some offensive linemen. I got the score, obviously, the under 21-10 Chiefs with the victory.
I think it'll be a little closer than that. I think the Chiefs will struggle to score with Gardner Minshew at the helm. It hasn't been a great offense with Patrick Mahomes. I don't suspect it gets a whole lot better with Gardner Minshew, but I think they'll do enough to beat the Titans. 17-13 is my prediction. I've got Xavier Worthy as my big Chief because if you want to make it easy for your quarterback, get a guy like Worthy in some space. Throw him some swing passes, get him the ball in some jet sweeps, especially with Rashee Rice out. Worthy's the best wide receiver dressing for this game. I think he's going to get a lot of targets, a lot of touches in this game for the Chiefs. So there you have it. Want to see your predictions? You can drop them in the live chat on our YouTube stream, 580 Sports Talk, and also on the text line, 785-272-9429. Matt Derrick joins us next, our Chiefs Insider on 580 Sports Talk. We go to Kansas City, where we are joined by our Chiefs insider, Matt Derrick, on the Fleming Place Wine and Spirits hotline. Matt covers the Chiefs for ChiefsDigest.com. You can find him across all manner of social media at Matt Derrick. Matt, this is a strange one. We've done a lot of interviews about Chiefs games. We've talked about Chiefs wins and losses. We've previewed Chiefs games. You and I have never done one quite like this, have we?
We haven't, because we've never done a conversation like this where the Chiefs aren't going to the playoffs. I mean, it's never happened before.
Yeah, it is strange times indeed. And how has that been reflected, you think, with regards to the preparation this week and how the team is reacting to this these new circumstances, these circumstances that seem, if you told everybody these were going to be the circumstances in August, nobody would have believed it. I don't think anybody wants to believe it now, that not only are the Chiefs eliminated, but Patrick Mahomes is out indefinitely with a torn ACL. How has that been reflected, have you noticed, in how the team is preparing, how the coaches seem to be processing everything, and just in this week heading into the Titans game?
Yeah, it's weird. It's subdued. I mean, it's certainly been quieter than it would be in a typical week. But I can't even quite say that it's like a typical week 18. It's just in week 16. It's kind of like that too. It's a little bit of, I mean, best thing I can compare it to is that it's kind of the end of a season, like back from 2016, 17 kind of era. You get the last day where you're kind of cleaning out your locker, with kind of a week 18, because you've got some guys that, I mean, they're disappointed. We heard from Travis Kelce today, and you could hear it. I mean, he's disappointed. You got that kind of mood from some of the veterans, even some of the rookies and younger guys too. But then you also got guys that know that they've got opportunities ahead for them, that this is going to be a big couple of weeks, because there's some young guys who are going to get more chances. This is a evaluation time. It's also contract time. So if there's some players who are going to be free agents in this offseason, they know that they've got to perform. So it's a mix of different attitudes in that locker room right now.
Matt Derrick of Chiefs Digest is our guest. He's our Chiefs insider. Joins us every Friday on the Fleming Place Wine and Spirits hotline here on 580 Sports Talk. Broadly speaking, do you detect more of a defiance and there's still something for us to play for, in the sense of Andy Reid's never had a losing record as the Chiefs head coach, still a lot to play for both on an individual and team scale? Or are you detecting a hint of Cancun on 3 from some of these Chiefs veterans?
We're gonna find out for sure on Sunday. I mean, that's where I think it's going to show up. I think it's hard to tell right now, because even from some of the veterans, I mean, even though Chris Jones, like Travis Kelce, sounds a little bit more subdued than would normally be, Chris is at the same time is saying, hey, you got to play for the name on the back of the jersey too, and you got to play for pride. And today, integrity was kind of the word from Travis Kelce, and we'll see, because those are the right words, but the real words are emotions and energy. I mean, that's what you have to play with, and I think there's going to be plenty of Chiefs players who will have that. Question is going to be, does the Titans have more than the Chiefs do? Will the Broncos and the Raiders have more than the Chiefs do down the road? There's going to be some guys. Yeah, you're right. They're just kind of playing out the string. There's no doubt about it. There's also going to be some that are playing with a lot of passion, because they know that they've got a lot to gain the next couple of weeks. But you can also see it sometimes, like you said. I mean, teams have pride. So the Titans, they don't want to go 2-15. Question is going to be, does finishing with a couple of more wins, if you're the Chiefs, does that drive them more than winning maybe a third game drives the Titans?
Which young player in particular are you most intrigued to see get additional opportunities? Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo both kind of talked about, the young guys are already playing. They're playing who they've got healthy. And right now that's not a very long list. So we're already seeing guys out there that are playing a lot, like Noah Williams or Ashton Gelati, or on offense, Esapole. But is there anybody in particular that you think is in line for expanded playing time these final 3 weeks that you are most interested to see one way or another?
Well, I mean, the one that you and I have been talking about all season long. I want to see Brashard Smith. I want to see this guy, cut loose a little bit. And I still don't even know what's going to happen these last 3 weeks. The Chiefs seem to have been in the philosophy that either he's just not quite ready yet. Maybe they're rethinking just whether or not he's big enough to be a running back. If they want to be a wide receiver, just go ahead and throw him out there. Let's see what happens. I don't know. I just want to see if the kid's got the juice at this level to make some guys miss and to make some plays. And I think in small doses we've seen that. I'd just like to see more. I want to see some more opportunities. On the defensive side, the one that really I think probably intrigues me the most is Kevin Knowles, because like you said, we've seen Noel Williams, and I hope we get to see more of a guy like Jeff Bossa, because he's kind of a developmental piece too, and he's a tweener and he's kind of a size challenge guy like Brashard Smith. So I want to kind of see what he's got and if he can play linebacker at this level. But Kevin Knowles, I think, is going to be a pretty interesting piece to evaluate, because if he's a guy that you say, hey, wait a minute, this looks like maybe he can be a slot corner at this level, does that, if you're the Chiefs, allow you to maybe explore trading Trent McDuffie in the offseason? Do you get a chance of looking what the secondary might look like without Trent McDuffie, especially since he's not going to play this weekend?
We're joined by our Chiefs insider, Matt Derrick. And Matt, another player that might get some more playing time, obviously receivers out this week are Tyquan Thornton and Rashee Rice. Do you think maybe we see more Jalen Royals?
I sure hope so. That's the one guy that's really outstanding that we haven't gotten to see a ton. I mean, I suppose you could also even work Nico Remigio into that rotation, and can certainly be critical for him as far as, continuing his NFL career, just to show that he can play some offense. But, Jalen Royals, talking to Connor Embry this week, wide receivers coach, and also hearing from Matt Nagy, I don't think there's any doubt that, starting the season with that knee tendonitis really held him back, because it cost him the last couple of weeks of practice before the season started, cost him the beginning of the season. And it just seemed like those 4 or 5 weeks that he was out, a lot of things happened. The Chiefs receiver room kind of changed. Maybe he just missed some development time, but it just didn't look like he was in sync and that the Chiefs trusted him to be able to go out there. So you're hoping that a whole season of prep has gotten to the point where he can get on the field and make some plays. I think the thing that's benefiting him now is that he's probably only really ready to play one position rather than rotate through all three. But because the Chiefs have so many injuries now, they're going to have some opportunities for him.
What do you make of, obviously, Travis Kelce spoke to the media today. He spoke on his podcast the other day, and he didn't say we, he used Chiefs. Do you think where do you see things going for him right now? As it was kind of odd, that was very jarring to hear that clip and him say Chiefs instead of we.
Yeah, and I thought it was kind of even jarring a little bit today when asked about his future and, what maybe his plans are and everything. And, and just saying he is going to keep that between him and the team right now. I think you could probably listen to what Travis is saying and probably parse his words into saying anything you want to. I mean, if you want to believe that he's coming back, you could probably spin it in that direction. If you believe that he's leaning towards hanging him up, I think you could probably spin it in that direction. I don't have a good beat on it. I mean, I will say that between, watching his body language after these last couple of losses in the locker room and his language and what he's used, I mean, it certainly sounds and looks like he's seriously contemplating, walking away. And this is maybe more serious than it has been in the past, certainly last year, when even after the Super Bowl, I mean, he seemed like he was ready to go. And hey, we know that, his brother Jason has told him to take some time away from football before you make that final decision. And he's told us he's going to make that decision in March. Right now, I mean, maybe he does feel like hanging it up, but you wonder what he'll feel like in a couple of months from now, once he's been away from the team, away from the guys, if he's still going to have that hunger to play one more season.
A few more questions for Matt Derrick, our Chiefs insider, joining us here on 580 Sports Talk. Matt writes for ChiefsDigest.com. What do you think the Gardner Minshew offense looks like for the Chiefs? And how will it look different from the Patrick Mahomes offense beyond the obvious physical limitations of Minshew relative to what Mahomes can do physically?
Yeah, I mean, really, you think of it in that way, and Gardner Minshew's a gunslinger, just like Patrick Mahomes. I mean, does he have Mahomes' arm strength and speed? No, he doesn't, but he still has a pretty strong arm. I mean, I don't know that you're going to be able to see them taking as many deep shots, especially because between Tyquan Thornton being out this week, Xavier Worthy is still dinged up. Hollywood's been dealing with some personal issues and has been in and out of practice the last couple of weeks. Are they really built to take some shots downfield, even with Gardner's arm? Maybe not. And I would think that they're going to try and, give him some protection, maybe protect the offensive line a little bit since it's banged up right now. So could I see a lot of multiple tight end sets, especially since they got a lot of tight ends that are healthy as opposed to running back or wide receiver rather. So could you see a lot of, 2-3 tight end sets where they're bringing in extra blocking, maybe to run the football as well? I wouldn't be surprised if you even just saw a lot of 6-man fronts and a 6 offensive lineman just to try and make things that are a little bit easier for the run game. And, it's not going to be helpful to Gardner if he's out there and you see the run game doing what they did last week and average like 1.8 yards a carry. They got to be more efficient than that. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did some things to try and make the ground game a little bit more efficient, but also just protect Gardner and give him some options. So in a situation like this, you usually lean on your tight end. It looked like last week when Gardner came in, he was leaning on Travis Kelce every single play.
I mean, like Kelce was the only guy he saw on the field. Which to his detriment when he threw the game-losing interception. On the defensive side for the Chiefs, this is not a good Titans offense. Where in particular do you think the Chiefs have the ability to keep this Titans offense struggling?
Yeah, I mean, even though the Chiefs have struggled getting pressure on the quarterback, it's what you got to do when a team has a young quarterback. You got to get pressure on them. And the Chiefs, for them, I mean, the way to get pressure on the quarterback is the blitz. So I think that they're still going to do that. Especially if they do play young guys, because that's something that Steve Spagnuolo's defense does, and he wants to see what some of those guys can do. So even if it's a Jaden Hicks out there, Kevin Knowles, if you get Jeff Bossa involved out there, maybe even a Cooper McDonald, I think you want to see if they can go after the quarterback and if they can, especially, run blitzes the way that Spags likes to do them, which is to disguise them, don't give it away, don't be obvious, be able to come from a different directions. I'm intrigued about that because that's usually something that you see Spagnuolo work a lot with young guys. And I mean, I remember Jaden Hicks as a rookie last year and taking him off to the side and kind of teaching him about blitzes and how to disguise them. And considering the fact that Hicks is one of those guys that they've been talking about maybe making mistakes in year 2 that they don't like to see. I want to see what he can do because he's a hard hitting guy and him going after the quarterback. I mean, that's something that down the road you could see that being a useful tool for the Chiefs.
All right, last thing, Matt. I think a lot of Chiefs fans might be okay with a loss if it improves draft position, but did the Chiefs get out of Nashville with a win against the lowly Titans?
I mean, I'm serious. I think that this comes down to who wants it more and who has the more guys who want it more. I think the Chiefs have the better team. There's no doubt about it. Even with backups in there, I think that the Chiefs have the better team. A little bit better organized. Offensively, these two teams might be just as ineffective on Sunday. I think that the Chiefs pull this one out for some reason. I shouldn't think that because they've had a house of horrors at times in Nashville. This might be another one, but I do think it'll be low scoring. Chiefs pull it out in 19-17.
Matt Derrick, we'll have it all covered at ChiefsDigest.com. He's our Chiefs insider here on 580 Sports Talk. Joins us on the Fleming Place Wine and Spirits hotline every Friday. Matt, thanks so much for your time. We'll do it again on next Friday after the Chiefs play on Christmas Day. So Merry Christmas, Matt. We'll talk to you next week.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to all of you. Take care, my friends.
That is Matt Derrick. We will step aside for a timeout, come back with Change My Mind to wrap up this first hour of 580 Sports Talk. All right, a real quick change my mind to wrap up this 3 o'clock hour. Spencer, changed my mind. Even though they lost last night in Seattle, the Rams are still the team to beat in the National Football League.
I very much so agree.
They were dominating that football game.
Yeah, and it was just the thing that the momentum changed on that punt return.
I will say the one thing I was wrong about with regards to the Rams, I thought they were the closest thing to a team with no foibles. Like the closest thing to one of those teams is just they don't really have any major flaws. Well, they do. They have one, and it's special teams. They are wretched on special teams. They gave up the punt return when that game was over at 30-14. And they gave up the punt return to Shaheed and everything changed. Seattle ended up winning in case you turned it off at 30-14, like I did. I turned it back on to see my guys win 38-37 in overtime.
I got one more thing. They are the best team in the league if Puka Nacua doesn't do anything stupid and get himself suspended.
Yeah, that bozo got on Twitter last night.
Immediately after the game and put Sean McVay in the worst situation possible.
Oh, I bet McVay wanted to strangle him in that locker room. No question about it. I still think the Rams were the better team last night, but special teams was funky. And then Seattle had the opportunity to go for 2 in the win in overtime, and they took it and they got it. So we will have the Year in What Is Wrong With You review next hour on 580 Sports Talk. Let's get it. Hour number 2 of 580 Sports Talk on this Friday. Dan Lucero, Spencer Dupuis with you on the Sports Voice of Kansas, 580 WIWW FM 104.9, online at 580WIWW.com, and on our video streaming channels, 580 Sports Talk on YouTube, WIBW News on Facebook. Coming up in about 10 minutes, the What Is Wrong With You Year in Review, our 12 monthly champions represented as they originally aired to get you excited for next week's Tournament of Failed Champions. We'll crown our 2025 What Is Wrong With You champion next Friday on our final show of 2025. 12 of the silliest stories and dumbest criminals that we encountered over the course of 2025. We're going to have some fun with it on a Friday. The What Is Wrong With You Year in Review. We still got On Second Thought and some sports headlines to come. We've got to get away at 5:30 today for high school basketball. Myself and Larry Latimer on the call at Shawnee Heights tonight as they host Topeka West in our 580 Preps Game of the Week doubleheader. Again, pregame starting at approximately 5:30 right here on 580 WIBW and FM 104.9. That means we got to get to our picks in a hurry. It's week 16 of the 580 Sports Talk Picks Contest. Spencer, after a solid week last week, is back to 500 on the nose.
I'll take it.
36-36-1 for Spencer. Brendan ahead of me for second place by 0.02 of a percentage point. Brendan is 33-39-1. I am 31-37-5. Brendan couldn't be here today, but he left us his picks, and here they are.
All right, fellas, my picks for this week. Let's start with college football. I'm going with Oklahoma, favored by 1 against Alabama. Both of these offenses have sucked for a few weeks now. Both quarterbacks have not played well for a few weeks now, mostly due to injuries being banged up. but Oklahoma's defense is still elite. So I will take the Sooners laying a single point at home. Also, Tulane already got blown out once this year by Ole Miss. Nothing has changed enough between these two teams for me to think this game will go any differently. Ole Miss is laying 17.5. Yeah, I'm still going to take the Rebels. From the NFL, Houston is a 14-point favorite at home against Las Vegas. That is a gigantic spread. I don't care. Give me Houston, that defense. I don't know how the Raiders are going to score in this game. Also, another big spread, Detroit hosting Pittsburgh. That is a huge game, one of the biggest games of the weekend in terms of playoff implications. But I will take Detroit laying 7. I just don't know what Pittsburgh's defense is going to do against that Lions offense. All right, and if my voice holds up long enough for me to get through this final pick, my wild card for the week, going back to the college football playoff, you know that I love to respect the belt. Not this week. Oregon, I think, is going to eviscerate James Madison. Oregon team total over 34.5. I think the Ducks should pretty easily be able to get to 5 touchdowns in this game coming up on Saturday night. Those are the picks, boys. Read them and weep.
That's what Brendan's got this week. Spencer, run us through year 5.
Yeah, I agree with what Brendan had to say about Oklahoma and Bama. I think Oklahoma's got it. It's going to happen. What he just mentioned about respecting the belt, unfortunately, we're not respecting the belt as well. I think Oregon's going to lay it all over James Madison. Chesney's a little worried about something on the West Coast that's awaiting him, and a lot of money awaiting him there. He's going to say, "Oh no, thank you, James Madison. It's been a fun ride, but we're about to get killed." And in the NFL, I've got Minnesota by 3 over the Giants. The Giants are dreadful. They lost to the Commanders last week. The Vikings beat the Commanders, so it kind of all works out in my head like that. And then I've got the Eagles and Commanders. Commanders at home. I think they're 6.5 point dogs. I think they will, in fact, cover the spread on that one. And then my wild card is also a spread. The 49ers on the road at Indianapolis. Believe Phillip Rivers Monday night will still be the Colts starting quarterback. I've got the 49ers by 5.5.
I like those picks. And congrats to you for using a spread with your wild card pick. I think you're the first one to do that all year. My picks this week, I'm with you and Brendan on Oregon over James Madison. I think that's a squash. Oregon minus 21. I'm the lone wolf on Bama OU. I've got Bama +1. I think Alabama's the better football team. Oklahoma's been doing it with mirrors all year. I think Bama's going to get their revenge in the rematch. I got 2 road dogs in the NFL. Green Bay +1.5 at Chicago. Green Bay obviously missing Micah Parsons, but I think they'll find a way to beat a team that they have historically had a great deal of success against. And my other NFL pick, somebody's got to beat the Broncos. This has to stop. They're at home against Jacksonville. Jacksonville 3.5 point dogs. Denver doesn't really blow anyone out. So I think +3.5 still gives me a win if Denver wins by a field goal, which that would not surprise me if that's the outcome. But I'll take Jacksonville +3 and a hook. They're playing some really good football of late as well. My wild card pick, I'm back to the Bama OU game. Neither team really covers themselves in glory on offense. I think this is going to be a slog. I'm going under 41. It's tonight. So I will go under 41 in Norman between Bama and Oklahoma. And again, unlike you two, I think Bama's going to win that game tonight. Real quick, the other 2 first-round playoff games that we didn't weigh in on, Tulane Ole Miss and what's the other one? I
couldn't tell you. I think Ole Miss is going to knock the crowd. It's Texas A&M, and I don't know.
No, not A&M.
Yeah.
A&M got a bye. It's Miami and Texas A&M. Oh, you said Tech? I thought you said Texas Tech.
No.
Yeah, I'll take the home team.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll take A&M and Mississippi. We're going to take a break. When we come back, the What Is Wrong With You year in review on 580 Sports Talk.
What the hell?
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 A tradition on 580 Sports Talk since 2017. A What Is Wrong With You tournament of failed champions will be undertaken next week. We will crown a yearly What Is Wrong With You winner. Didn't used to do it. Back when I joined 580 Sports Talk in 2016, What Is Wrong With You was kind of a one-off. We'd do one story a day. We'd make our jokes, and then we'd move on to the next day. And after a while, we turn it into a competition. 2 stories, one against the other, and we'd find a daily winner. The daily winner turned into a weekly winner, turned into a monthly winner, turned into a competition at the end of the year to see which story best captured the ideals of What Is Wrong With You. Our initial champion back in 2017 was the grilled cheese standoff. That winner has since been followed by the likes of Tailpipe Girl in 2018, the number 1 dad in 2019 who stole Girl Scout cookie money from his daughter to purchase an erotic massage, the wrong house demolition in 2020, the board bridge jumper in 2021, the family funeral feud in 2022, the meat suitcase in 2023, and last year's champion, Dog Looks Like a Panda, the Chinese zoo that painted dogs to look like pandas for a panda bear exhibit. All great champions, and another will join their ranks next week on our 3 shows that we will do, our final 3 shows of 2025. We will crown a champion next Friday, but to set the table for the Tournament of Failed Champions, we present to you, in chronological order this month, the 12 monthly What Is Wrong With You champions. We call this the year in What Is Wrong With You. Please enjoy these stories if you're hearing them again or if you're hearing them for the first time. These are the stories that will participate next week, with only one of them able to be crowned the What Is Wrong With You champion of 2025. Without further ado, here's part 1 of our year in review, spanning from January to June.
January, the fascist falconer.
All right, my story today, we're going to Italy. This is actually a developing situation. No joke. This is a developing situation in the country of Italy. On Monday, Italian soccer club Lazio fired its longtime falconer, Juan Bernabe, after the 56-year-old Spaniard posted photos on social media of himself following a penile implant surgery. The thing you can get, and he was proud of his. He showed pictures on social media. In a statement, Lazio said, "We and the historic symbol of the eagle can no longer be associated with a person who, with his behavior, has made the continuation of any relationship impossible." As a result of Bernabe's firing, the club's eagle, Olympia, will not fly at upcoming matches.
Jeez.
Bernabe had been with the club since 2010, and in a video with, so he gave an interview to a Spanish newspaper explaining his surgery, and that he's very proud of his surgery. Essentially, he likes he likes the way that it makes his equipment work now. And
Well, I hope.
yes, and then there were pictures. Bernabe appears to have no regrets about posting the photos, saying, quote, "My conscience is fine. I only publicize this to inform people about the surgery. For me, nudity is normal because I grew up in a naturist family and with an open mind. I don't understand what my photo has to do with pornography." So there's an update to this story that is ongoing. He has refused to accept his dismissal from the club and has barricaded himself in their training center.
What?
He has apologized on social media, saying he is, quote, "not a bleepy person," and, quote, "in life, everyone makes mistakes." He is scheduled to meet the president of the club tomorrow. The Lazio president has given a rambling interview on Italian radio, during which he has suggested that the Falconers should be committed, and has also said, and I quote, "Better a penis than a Roman salute? That's not how it works at my house." This is all real. Also, Lazio is like the official club of fascists. I don't know how much you know about fascism. We don't do a lot of politics on this radio program. But if you've taken a history class, fascism is bad.
Yes.
And Lazio is like the fascist club. Like, This guy, Bernabe, had previously been suspended by Lazio for doing a chant in honor of Benito Mussolini with a group of fans and doing a fascist salute. At the time of his suspension, he admitted to the chants and said he admires both Mussolini and Francisco Franco and that he is proud of what he has done. And he's also proud of his new penis implant.
February, the Double D drunk driver.
For my story, we're going to LaPorte, Indiana, where 27-year-old Zachariah Vigil got his car stuck on the railroad tracks and was able to safely get out of the car before the train struck his car and tore it up to smithereens. 2 reasons why you might get your car stuck on the train tracks. I guess there are 3. 1, honest mistake. That one doesn't happen all that often. The train tracks are there for a reason. They're pretty clearly marked, typically speaking.
Typically.
That's not what happened here. This guy was real drunk and looking at pictures of his girlfriend's boobs. That's what happened here. It was 2 a.m. Monday, the day after the Super Bowl. Vigil was driving to his girlfriend's house after watching the big game. Apparently he had a few brews while he was watching. Vigil told investigators he became distracted by the sight of his girlfriend's breasts as they were FaceTiming, which caused him to drive up on the rails next to the crossing at Orchard Avenue and 2nd Street. Police said Vigil tried pushing the car off the tracks before the vehicle was struck by the freight train. His blood alcohol content, 273.
Okay.
How is he alive?
273. To give you a little bit of context, that is 2 points higher than Salvador Perez's batting average last season.
Okay. So obviously this guy's a bum, right?
Yeah.
The girlfriend here deserves at least part of the blame, right?
Don't FaceTime and drive.
No, that's ridiculous. And her, like, hey, I want to make sure you get home. I'm not going to flash you on FaceTime while you're driving. We can talk in 10 minutes when you get here. He deserves the majority of the blame. I'm not trying to put it all on her, but you've got to be looking out for your significant other's safety here, especially if they just were at Britt Zweigert's Super Bowl party and we're downing vodka all night.
Not enough poppy seed bread to sop up the alcohol content there in the in the vodka at the Super Bowl party. It would be
he was listening.
Person in another room listening.
It would be one thing if, like, okay, you live in a big city, like they live in Indianapolis, and it's going to be like, man, I really want to see my girlfriend. It's going to be a whole lot of loving going on in 45 minutes, but I got to get across town, one end of town to another. I got to go around the belt loop interstate there in Indianapolis, like 2 a.m. You're feeling a certain kind of way. Look, we've all been there, but LaPorte, Indiana is like 21,000 people. It'd take you 5 minutes to get across town. I'm not that far away from getting to where you need to go.
Put them away, lady. Let him drive home.
Yeah,
and bro, you're gonna get yours. I promise.
They're better in person.
Typically, yes.
March, the meth cannon.
All right, my story today is titled Meth Cannon. We go to Louisiana, the Pollock Correctional Facility in Grant Parish, Louisiana, where 2 men from Colorado attempted to smuggle $112,000 worth of tobacco and $89,500 worth of meth inside of the facility using a T-shirt gun.
Hell yeah.
They were planning to blast the contraband items over the prison fences and walls. Further investigation revealed that the men planned to use it to launch the items some 350 feet into the population. Grant Parish Sheriff Stephen McCain said the smuggling operation was uncovered by a sharp-eyed deputy who noticed some strange behavior going on near the prison walls. The deputy intercepted the 2 men, 18-year-old Jose Francisco Herrera Munoz and 19-year-old Angel Gonzalez Gutierrez, both of Colorado. Come on, guys. Were arrested and charged with attempting to introduce contraband into a penal institution and attempting to distribute meth with a T-shirt gun. A T-shirt gun full of meth and cigs.
I think it's hilarious. Good for them going for the big score, literally. You bring anything gun or cannon shaped near a jail, you kind of get what's coming to you.
They should have gone for broke, got one of those like revolving ones that you see at the game. Meth Uzi. No, just had the T-shirt. Just had the revolver. The meth cannon.
April, 35 minutes of freedom.
We're going to Pueblo, Colorado, where an inmate escaped the Pueblo County Jail
Go
on
Thunderwolves.
April 24th. The same inmate, Lucas Brown, had previously pled guilty to an escape charge. According to Pueblo Sheriff David J. Lucero, no relation.
Oh?
The inmate was gone for about 35 minutes after walking out of the detention center. He's now back in custody following assistance from the Pueblo Police Department in locating him. He was designated as a kitchen trustee. So, like, he had earned the trust of the people in charge of the prison. He had a job. He was working in the kitchen. They were cleaning up for the night. He went to throw out the trash and then took off running west of 9th Street. He had been working for 24 days in the kitchen and never had an issue. Here's the kicker. At the time of his alleged escape, Brown had just 2 days left in his prison sentence. He was sentenced to 90 days for criminal mischief. He'd served 88 of those days. He escaped. He was caught. He now faces additional charges, will no longer be released, and is no longer a kitchen trustee. He had previously escaped from a staff secure facility in 2017 in a court-mandated treatment facility in Arapahoe County, Aurora, Colorado, my hometown. He was sentenced to 60 days for that escape. He just loves to try and break out of jail.
Yeah, this is a classic love of the game story.
Yeah, it really is.
I have to respect it.
He spent 88 days plotting his release, 88 of the 90 days that he was scheduled to serve.
They'll never expect it. They'll just assume I'll wait until 90. Nope. Oh, man. Yeah, he just loves escaping.
I got to be out 2 days early.
This man watched Prison Break one time and thought, yes, that's going to be me.
This is my destiny. All you had to do is chill for 48 more hours.
Dog,
and then you're out for good. They'll walk you out.
Yeah.
You don't have to go running. They will walk you to the front door. They'll call you an Uber.
This doesn't sound like he was at a max security type of environment. Bro, I'm sure they had TVs. Watch the draft. Throw the NBA playoffs on, brother. They're playing 4 games a day on the weekend.
Said this happened April 24th. That was Thursday night. Yeah, it was round 1 of the NFL draft.
Dog!
The Nuggets
goes
were
to
on.
pick.
Watch the playoffs.
Oh, God. There were UFL games this weekend. Man.
Just chill. And on the 26th, you could have gone back to your loved ones or doing whatever it was
Or
you were
more
doing
crime.
before.
Yeah.
Your life of extremely petty crime.
May, the cool mom.
A Texas mother who officials say took alcoholic Jell-O shots to her children's elementary school Christmas party has been arrested. Teresa Burnell, 33, was charged with injury to a child in connection to a party December 20th at Jones Elementary School in Tyler, Texas. Burnell purchased the Jell-O shots from a home business she found on Facebook, according to the arrest affidavit. You couldn't even make them.
You bought Jell-O shots on Facebook?
She's lucky these kids didn't die.
Yeah. The shots were laid out on a table along treats students had brought to share in the cafeteria where 5th grade classes gathered, officials said. 15 students consumed the shots. Nearly all reported, quote, having stomach aches and headaches.
Man, it couldn't hang is what it sounds like.
Lightweights.
One student told police he vomited twice in the school that day. And another student said he passed out at school after consuming the Jell-O shot.
Pass out. Drank.
One student had 6 Jell-O shots, got dizzy. When he returned to the classroom, he got dizzy, fell, and felt like he could not get back on his feet.
Probably because he could not get back on his feet.
Got his ass.
6 is a lot for me.
That's a lot, bro.
Needless to say, yes, she's not allowed back on school grounds.
When questioned by a school district police officer, Bernal said she did not know the shots had alcohol, but did concede, quote, they do taste different. Yeah, I'll say.
The Facebook sweets business Bernal had purchased the shots from had a clear disclaimer on its website stating the shots were made with Smirnoff vodka. The officer wrote in the affidavit, in my opinion, there is no way Bernal could have missed the fact that the Jell-O shots she purchased and brought to her daughter's 5th grade Christmas party contained drinking alcohol.
Also, I would think that
Smirnoff, like that's not the expensive stuff. It's not like Grey Goose, but like
no.
Not top shelf, not bottom shelf
not
either.
bottom shelf.
Look, I would
It's not
think
Scotch.
I would think that teachers maybe would notice something. They're like, that looks. Let me. You open it and you go, oh yeah, there's a problem here.
Even like the thought of virgin Jello shots, one, very funny. Two, why would you think that would be an appropriate thing to bring to a child's party?
Just make Jello.
Seriously,
Just put it in a bowl.
It ain't that hard. This woman brought Jello shots, bought them off of Facebook.
See,
that's insane.
Yeah, that's the part of it that's ridiculous to me. Off of Facebook? Again, lucky that these kids did not die.
June. Give me a tip or I empty the clip.
We've got a DoorDash incident. We're going up to Vancouver, Washington, where a man was angered that he had not received a cash tip the night before on a $100 order. So the DoorDash driver returned to a home in Vancouver with a loaded gun.
Okay. All right. Have either of you guys ever have either of you guys ever like driven Uber, DoorDash, like delivered food delivery, anything like that?
I did for approximately like 6 weeks during COVID because I was bored and my roommate also did it.
Okay.
Need a little cash.
But I wasn't making very much money, so I quit.
So I did it. I worked on 2 separate occasions. There was a Jason's Deli nearby where I grew up, and I got a summer job working with them.
Mm-hmm.
And part of the gig was you would deliver sandwiches. A lot of times it was a big you get catering orders, sandwich trays, that kind of stuff. But if you were working the night shift or later in the afternoon, you get people just ordering a couple of sandwiches for the family or one for themselves. And I can tell you, I was in that situation where you deliver like somebody's Club Royale with a fruit cup and an iced tea, and you don't get a tip, or you get like change, like it was $11.19. They hand you 12, and they say keep the change, and that would be your tip. And look, it sucks.
Yeah,
get under tip. Like one time, I made a delivery to a hospital. It was a drug rep laying out lunch for a presentation. $300 worth of food. Guy tipped me $10. I wanted to spit in every one of those sandwiches. I was furious.
Love a good 3% tip.
But then, you know what? I drove back to the restaurant and I cooled down and I went on with my day. I didn't show up the next day with the blick and tell the guy, come up off my gratuity, pal.
So we're meeting 59-year-old Robert Delahant, who showed up last Thursday morning at the residence of 19-year-old Kiana Korenkov.
Man, 19-year-olds don't tip either.
And demanded the tip. Delahant was, quote, loud and mouthy. After Korenkov's father told Delahant to leave the property, the men got into an altercation, during which Delahant allegedly reached for a holstered Ruger firearm. Anthony Volino, 55, told cops that he grabbed Delahant's gun and pushed the driver down onto the driveway. Volino, quote, stated when he smelled liquor on Robert's breath, he thought anything could happen. Yeah, I'd say. Volino then, according to the police, said he feared for his safety when Delahant reached for the gun. After driving away from the residence in his Kia Soul, Delahant called police dispatch and advised the house cheated him out of a tip, so he returned and was pushed.
I'm the victim here.
Cops say that Delahant smelled of booze and admitted to drinking at home before returning to the residence. Quote, I shouldn't have come back, he told police. He also claimed that he had only lifted his shirt to show that he was indeed armed, not that he actually grabbed at the gun. A home security camera recorded the men wrestling over the firearm, and as seen in a photo from that footage, Volino is seen holding the gun after Delahant had been disarmed. Delahant was charged with assault, harassment, and driving under the influence. His BAC, folks, more than twice the legal limit. He also has a prior DUI conviction. DoorDash has fired him.
I bet they have.
When we come back on 580 Sports Talk, the second half of our year in What Is Wrong With You on 580 WIWW.
What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell?
What the hell?
Welcome back to 580 Sports Talk and the Year in What Is Wrong With You, our review and replay of the 12 monthly What Is Wrong With You champions that will compete in next week's Tournament of Failed Champions. We left off with June. Part 2 takes us from July to the rest of the year.
July, the Winnebago.
2 people in West Virginia are facing several charges after an officer says he observed them doing the deed while driving an RV. Bluefield police said driver Matthew McDonald admitted to doing it with his female passenger, later identified as Shannon Bryant. The officer said the RV came back as stolen, and drug paraphernalia was also found in the vehicle during the stop. He is facing charges that include indecent exposure, driving under the influence, possession of a controlled substance without a valid prescription. Additionally, he had warrants out of the Bluefield Municipal Court and from neighboring county, Tazewell County, Virginia. Her charges include receiving or transferring a stolen vehicle, possession of a controlled substance, and indecent exposure. Again, another story where you're doing more crimes while doing a crime.
Yes, don't commit a crime while in the act of committing a crime. Also,
or in the act of anything else.
Like if I were driving a stolen vehicle, I would be doing everything I could not to attract attention to my vehicle. Certainly not having my female passenger bouncing up and down on top of me while I was navigating the vehicle. Also, it's an RV. Just pull over
and go to the back.
Pull over and go to the back.
August, Operation Bear Claw.
All right, for my story today, we're going to Los Angeles. We meet 4 people. Ruben Tamrazian, Ararat Chirkinian, Vahi Mudredkanyan, and Alfia Zuckerman. They were, on January 28th in 2024, shocked to find damage to their vehicles caused by a bear. A bear damaged their vehicles. A 2010 Rolls-Royce Ghost, a 2015 Mercedes G63 AMG, and a 2022 Mercedes E350. It's not just any cars, some nice cars, some luxury cars, damaged by a bear. And they claimed this and sent in video to support their insurance claims because they had video of the bear doing damage to their vehicles. One problem, if I may quote former Royals pitcher Danny Duffy, it's a bear suit, Joel. They put on a bear suit and meat claws. Have you seen those? Like when you're shredding like a piece of like brisket or something, you're shredding meat, you get the meat claws. So they had meat claws and a bear suit, and they went to town, or somebody went to town on their cars. Upon further scrutiny of the video, said the California Department of Insurance, the investigation determined the bear was actually a person in a bear costume. Investigators even went to the lengths of asking a biologist from the California Department of Fish and Wildlife to review the video, who said it was, quote, clearly a human in a bear suit. The bear costume, as you can see, was recovered at the suspect's home. Photos provided by insurance investigators showed surface-level scratch marks on the seats and door panels of the cars. It was later determined that the scratches were made from the meat claws. All 4 defendants are facing 3 counts each of insurance fraud and defrauding an insurer in their scheme, which they referred to as Operation Bear Claw. They damaged they had somebody put on a bear suit and just scratch at their cars with these meat hooks. They're like, you know what? We can get a big insurance payment on this. I'm not really fussed about these scratches. That ain't no thing. That's not that big a deal. We just want the money. These 4 got together and were like, hey, you want to do some insurance fraud together? Yeah, bet. Anybody got any ideas? I got a bear suit. I had a cousin who'll put on the bear suit and just hack away at our cars with what? How are we going to make them lifelike scratches? Ah, man.
Don't worry, I got this.
Hey, I just had some pulled pork last night. You know, we can use those.
Let me go out. It's sitting under my smoker.
let me grab some of these. Get a guy to put on the bear suit. I can't believe they thought that was going to work. And the investigators, the Department of Insurance watching this video like, man, something looks kind of hinky here. This bear is surprisingly nimble on two legs. Moving a little unnaturally.
Yeah.
But hey, just to make sure, let me holler at the Bureau of Wildlife and just make sure, hey, do I know ball or do I not know ball with this bear? Like, am I onto something here? And the Department of Fish and Wildlife, yeah, man, that's not a bear.
Yeah.
Like,
We know what bears look like and walk like and act like. That, sir, that is not one.
If it looks like a bear, but it doesn't walk like a bear, and it doesn't growl like a bear, and it has meat claws in its bear paws, it ain't a bear.
September, the fragrant felons.
Go to Santa Barbara County. It's where my mom's from, Goleta, California. Santa Barbara County Sheriff's deputies on Friday arrested 3 men suspected of stealing nearly $2,000 of perfume from an Ulta Beauty. They did it at 2 p.m. on a Friday in the Camino Real marketplace. I know exactly where that is. I used to vacation there every summer as a kid. My grandparents lived there. My mom grew up there. The suspects had fled the store with stolen cologne and perfume in a red sedan headed toward Highway 101. Deputies spotted the car and pulled it over. They knew they had the right car because when they got to the window, the car reeked of perfume and cologne. Deputies recovered approximately $1,900 worth of perfume and cologne. The 3 suspects were booked into jail for felony organized retail theft. Yep. Like, I don't know how you hide the smell of $2,000 in cologne and perfume.
Yeah. That's hard to hide.
I think it's pretty unmistakable. They when they knew, they got up to the window and like, oh, yep, this is the right one. Yep. Call off the bolo. We got them.
October, $900 at Fuddruckers.
All right, we're going to go to Spartanburg County, South Carolina.
The Sparkle City.
The former sheriff, Chuck Wright, is facing more than 60 state ethic charges after allegedly spending over $17,000 in taxpayer money on unauthorized purchases, according to newly released documents from the State Ethics Commission. The charges come in addition to the federal charges Wright is already facing. A 19-page document from the commission details how he allegedly used the county-issued credit card at more than 100 restaurants and stores for personal purchases. According to the documents, he bought 92 packs of cigarettes at Dollar General with his county-issued card. He also reportedly spent more than $1,300 in the Apple App Store on games including Huntwise, Ramp Car Jumping, and Royal Match.
Royal Match?
He saw that LeBron commercial and thought, I got to get it out.
Those are the most infuriating ads for a game in the world. They show up on your phone, and it's like, save the king from drowning into the lava. And then, like, the person pretending to play the game sucks at it, and the king always eats it, dies.
And then you go, damn, I can do better than this.
I will save you, king. Poor king. I will save you. I will download Royal Match.
Yeah, that's not the... He did a lot more things than download Royal Match. He also made purchases through SiriusXM. The biggest portion of the alleged misspending went towards food, totaling more than $5,000. He reportedly spent near $900 at Fuddruckers. $500
at Fuddruckers.
$345 at Chick-fil-A and $281 at the Super King buffet.
No, not Fuddruckers.
And then he had to get something to play Huntwise, Ramp Car Jumping, and Royal Match on. So he went to Best Buy and spent $946 where he purchased an iPad, among other items. He also spent $210 for penalties for exceeding his credit limit, and
$71
at CVS where he bought an at-home drug test kit. He is scheduled for a hearing in Columbia, South Carolina in February regarding the charges.
Incredible. 92
He bought an iPad's worth of Fuddruckers.
Fuddruckers. I love Fuddruckers as a kid, man. Fuddruckers is for the children. How are you breaking off $900 at Fuddruckers? That's so many
taking
hamburgers.
His family to Fuddruckers on the county dime.
November, the fight promoter parent.
Lebanon, Missouri. Is it Lebanon or is it Lebanon, Missouri? They have a Lebanon in Indiana. It's spelled like the country, Lebanon.
but they pronounce it Lebanon in Indiana. I don't know how they pronounce it in Missouri, so my mistake if I'm getting that wrong. But we have one woman charged following a Friday night disturbance in the county, a physical disturbance that occurred at a laundromat across from Lebanon High School. Cade Nunn was accused of organizing and encouraging a fight between two juveniles who allegedly had an ongoing dispute. Court documents state the victim had been at a Friday night football game when they received a message to come to the laundromat to, quote, talk about the beef between them and the other juvenile. They claimed to police that upon arrival, they saw a large group with their phones out to record before they were pushed toward another juvenile who started assaulting them. They attempted to fight back before they were able to get away, go back to the school, and contact their parents. The victim was later treated at a local hospital for their injuries. Nunn claimed the minor who was assaulted was bullying and had another juvenile reach out to them to arrange a meetup to put an end to their argument. Documents show that Nunn asked the victim if their parents knew where they were and if they were okay with the arrangement, to which the victim said no, their parents didn't know, and no, they would probably not be okay with the setup. Video observed by police allegedly showed the woman encouraging the fight, instructing a group of juveniles not to call the police, and noted that Nunn and another adult male could also be heard in the video telling one of the minors to, quote, kick their ass. When asked why she arranged the fight, she claimed it was bound to happen eventually and was present to make sure it was done safely. This woman thinks she's Don King, the fight promoter parent. Come one, come all to see the clash at the cleaners. Like, it's the same lame excuse. Parents like, well, kids are going to drink anyway, so they may as well just have a whole handle of vodka to themselves in their basement while I'm at home. Like, no, you don't encourage the behavior.
Yeah.
You don't just say, well, kids will be kids. No, not how it works. I think that wins today.
Yeah.
I actually think it might win the week.
I think it does too.
The idea that she essentially promoted the fight. She booked
Yeah.
a fight between juveniles and she brought an audience to record the whole thing. She thinks she's Bob Arum.
She's the promoter.
Dana White, Don King. What is she doing?
December, the meth deposit.
You know those pneumatic tubes at the bank?
Yeah.
Those are always so fun. So, quick aside here. The Jeffersons here in Topeka used to be, that was a bank. I always thought they should have kept the pneumatic tubes out, and like that should be their drive-through. They get wings through the pneumatic tube.
I mean, that'd be cool, but like
Probably messy.
but very messy, sir.
Unless
Unless you created one, unless you created your own and it was this big.
Yeah, it'd be sick though. Wings through a pneumatic tube. That's a business model idea for the future. Anyway,
Yeah.
Speaking of pneumatic tubes, I think it'd be cool to send chicken wings through them. It's not cool to send meth through a bank's drive-through pneumatic tube, but that's what 46-year-old Jason Smith did. He was booked on drug-related charges earlier this week, according to the Monroe County Sheriff's Office in Ohio. The incident occurred December 3rd at a bank in Woodsfield, which is a small town located some 120 miles due east of Columbus. On the day in question, a bank employee called deputies to report finding a crystal-like substance consistent with meth in a baggie that had accompanied a transaction sent through one of the bank's air tubes. Subsequent testing determined the substance was, in fact, meth. Over the course of the investigation, authorities determined the defendant had inadvertently sent the package to the bank while completing an otherwise routine banking transaction. Smith was located nearby Wayne Township by officers. Deputies were called with the use of a police dog. They recovered additional suspected drugs and drug-related items from Smith's truck. So, yeah, man, he's just trying to, like, cash a check. Or maybe he owns a business. Maybe he's just sending payroll up. And, you know, left him a little treat.
There you have it. Our 12 What Is Wrong With You champions. Who's your favorite? Who do you think's going to win it all? We'll hash it out next week. On Monday, we'll go from 12 stories down to 8. On Tuesday, from 8 to 4. And on Friday, December 26th, our last show of 2025, we'll go from 4 down to 1 champion of What Is Wrong With You for 2025. We hope you'll join us for that. Spencer Dupuis has you the rest of the way on today's edition of 580 Sports Talk after this.
on second thought, I thought the Chiefs were for sure going to just keep us on our pins and needles the rest of the season. That's an easy one, right? I thought that we were going to just every week, like, this is the week they could lose. This is the week this is the week they could not make the playoffs, but I didn't think we would already be talking about them missing the playoffs and about Patrick Mahomes potentially not being ready for the start of the season. Obviously, we have way more to talk about that going forward as the rehab continues. I believe he's back in KC today in the metro area, as you'll probably see him, social media posts for him today as well. But we'll have a final half hour of the show coming up after the news with headlines and a final word. This is 580 Sports Talk.
Join today. For a full list of benefits, visit kfb.org/benefit.
Did you know that Apple started in a garage? Google started in a garage. So did Amazon and Hewlett Packard. At the next rodeo, we have nothing against garages, but this is for those burgeoning businesses that started in backyards, bedrooms, bathrooms, kitchens, home offices, and also garages. Small businesses with smaller beginnings that were looked down on, talked down too, but had the smarts to survive and the grit to grow. And now they're ready for the next chapter, the next level. Now they're ready for the next rodeo. The Next Rodeo is a creative partner that brings world-class thinking to companies who know where they're going, no matter where they came from. The Next Rodeo. The difference between the business you have and the business you want is one great idea. Get the full story at thenextrodeo.com.
Here's your updated forecast on 580 WIWW. Daytime highs approaching 50 this afternoon under mainly sunny skies. South winds 10 to 20 miles an hour. Lows around 35. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Partly cloudy tomorrow. Highs level off around 49. Partly cloudy skies and dry Sunday and Monday. Upper 40s Sunday, upper 50s by Monday. I'm staff meteorologist Ray Miller. Currently 44.
Stay connected online at 580WIBW.com.
Let's get it. Final 30-ish minutes here of 580 Sports Talk, the youngest in command. Moving Spencer Dupuis with you here, guiding you up until 580 preps. Friday night high school basketball. That is on the air tonight, as it's the final one of the calendar 2025 year. Dan Lucero and Larry Latimer on the call. Shawnee Heights hosts Topeka West. That's coming up right around 5:30, and it'll be a probably right about 5:30 start time based upon the information I'm hearing as of now. JV game going is on a roll, let's just say. And then later on tonight on 580 WIBW, we will have the high school basketball scoreboard show with Eric Peterson, flagship station of the Kansas Information Network here at 580 WIBW from 10 until 11. Believe that is the last of 2025 as well. It is the last of 2025. And right now, after we're done with the show, if you're not interested in high school hoops, you can turn over to our sister station, Country 106.9. Brennan Dorzinski on the call as Washburn Women's Hoops is on the road in Oklahoma for a little 2-day holiday tournament. And let's get a score update from that as we speak. I'm pulling it up right now. They're down at the Fairfield Inn and Suites Holiday Classic in Lawton and Aggie Gymnasium at Cameron University, as things may not be underway. I guess it would just be getting underway if things are running on time. Not sure if it is. Let's get a double check. They are underway from Aggie Gymnasium, as Washburn already out to a 5-0 lead, I believe is the score. Yep, it is a 5-0 lead. 3 of those points coming from Peyton Stirk on a deep ball, as it's now 5-1, 7:43 to go in the first quarter. Washburn women 7-3 on the season so far. This will be their final games that they have of non-conference play. It'll be full MIAA play after this, as this will wrap up the 2025 year for them as well. They will be back in action on Saturday, the January 3rd, after tomorrow's game against the host Cameron. That game set for 4 p.m. Pre-game coverage on 106.9 is set for 3:45. Right here on 580 WIBW tomorrow, we will have K-State men's basketball, 11 a.m. tip at home against South Dakota, as they begin to wrap up non-con play. And K-State women starting conference play. They are on the road later on in the day, so it's a 10 a.m. airtime for the men, 11 a.m. tip. Women 3:30 airtime, 4 p.m. tip at TCU to begin Big 12 play tomorrow for the Midi Cats. And on Sunday, we've got Chiefs football, 11 a.m. pregame coverage for the Chiefs Radio Network with a 12 p.m. kickoff in Nashville against the Titans. Later on, we'll have Westwood One's coverage of Sunday night football, Dolphins versus Bengals. That's an interesting one because Joe Burrow made a very cryptic post on his Instagram story and then quickly took it down earlier in the week. So we'll see how things fold out there. We'll be back for 580 Sports Talk. Well, Dan will with potentially Brendan the 22nd and 23rd, and back on the 26th. I will be out until the start of the new year. Let's get to our first headline here. Washburn-Rural alum Brooklyn delays 5 blocks, led Kentucky last night in the national semifinal victory over Wisconsin. They will play Texas A&M in the Division I Volleyball National Championship Sunday at 2:30 p.m. You can watch that on ABC. You can also head to Kansas City and go watch the Washburn-Rural alum play at the T-Mobile Center. That's a 2:30 match on Sunday against Texas A&M. So it'll be an all-SEC Division I Volleyball Championship, National Championship. Also, Shawnee Heights alum Maya Tillman is an assistant for Kentucky. Our friend from the Topeka Capital Journal, Liam Keating, had coverage there last night for the Journal. Read it right up on the Cap Journal website. We actually got to ask Brooklyn about playing close to home, and here is her response in the post-game press conference.
Liam.
Kind of going to show that while it's Kansas City, Missouri, a lot of people there for her from the Kansas side. Again, national championship will be Sunday, be a 2:30 match against Texas A&M in an all SEC Division I volleyball national championship. Next in headlines, we have the official final injury report for Chiefs Titans. Mentioned earlier on in the show that it's a long list of players that were out for the Chiefs. Leo Chenal did not practice all week with his shoulder injury. He is out. Trent McDuffie was limited yesterday, but didn't practice on Wednesday or today with his knee injury. They have listed him as out. Swing tackle Jalen Moore dealing with a knee injury, didn't practice all week. He's out. Rasheed Rice still in concussion protocol. He is out. Tyquan Thornton still in concussion protocol, didn't practice all week. He is out. Right tackle Juwan Taylor dealing with an elbow injury. He hasn't practiced all week. He is out. Also, tight end Jake Brittingstool coming off of a hamstring injury, and cornerback Nazeeh Johnson coming off a shoulder injury. They were designated to return, but they will not be activated to the active roster. Their 21-day window just opened on Wednesday, so they can get them to practice the rest of the season, or they could potentially bring them in the game or to the active roster at some point in the final 2 games, but not this game. They will not be activated. Hollywood Brown returned from his personal absence. He will be active for the game. So will Brian Cook, who dealt with a shoulder injury or is dealing with a shoulder injury. He'll be a go along with Mike Edwards, both safeties fully participated all week, along with Christian Fulton dealing with his knee. He fully participated all week. He is in. Noah Gray will be in. I forgot Derrick Nottie. He is sick. He is out for the ball game. And Juju Smith-Schuster will go. Nico Remigio will go. Chris Jones will go. And Trey Smith will be back in the lineup after missing a few games with an ankle injury. He will, in fact, go. For the Titans, they have ruled out 3, and a bunch more are questionable. Linebacker Cedric Gray dealing with concussion. He has not fully gotten out of concussion protocol. I believe he got a step. He completed 1 step, it appears, because he was limited in their walkthrough today. But he is out for the game. Olafemi Olajad, the outside linebacker, dealing with a fibula injury. He is out. Bryce Oliver, the wide receiver, dealing with a knee injury. He is out. Questionable for the game, outside linebacker Adrian Arden Key, dealing with an illness. He is questionable. Safety Kevin Winston Jr. dealing with a groin injury. He did practice on Wednesday, but was limited participant on Thursday and Friday. He is questionable. Questionable is Van Jefferson with a back injury. He upgraded himself all week after not practicing Wednesday, was limited Thursday, and fully participated today. The tight end Gunnar Helm, he was limited on Wednesday and Thursday and a full participant today, but is questionable. Ali Gay, the outside linebacker, dealing with an knee injury, limited all week, questionable. Jalen Armour Davis, the corner, dealing with an Achilles injury. He was limited all week. He is questionable. Off the injury report and good to go for the contest. Amani Hooker, who is sick this week. Dan Moore Jr., the tackle, dealing with a neck injury. Chig Okonkwo, the tight end. He is good to go, along with the defensive tackle, Jeffrey Simmons, who just got a vet rest day earlier on in the week. That is the injury report for the Chiefs and for the Titans in the game set for 12 p.m. Sunday on CBS, or you can listen to it right here on 580 WIBW. Also, getting word after the game last night, Sean McVay met with the media, as all coaches do, the day after their games. Looks like they will be without wide receiver Devontae Adams again next week when they play the Falcons. So he will continue to be sidelined. The Steelers have listed TJ Watt, Isaac Seumalo, and James Pierce, Pierce as out for Sunday's game. A 1-game suspension for Seahawks linebacker Derrick Hall that came down quickly for an unsportsmanlike conduct, an unnecessary roughness penalty during last night's game. He is appealing that suspension. There was no penalty enacted on the field for this one, so that is interesting to see where that goes. Getting into some more headlines here. Significant transfer portal losses for both KU and K-State. KU loses top quarterback prospect David McComb. K-State loses top pass rusher Toby Ososani, along with starting offensive lineman Devin Voss, as they announced their intent to enter the transfer portal. Again, nobody can enter the transfer portal yet because it's not open yet. After last year, they quickly developed a new timeline for the transfer portal, and it will open January 2nd. So it's just announcing an intent. And kind of interesting timing. A lot of guys announcing now. Obviously, it's December 19th. I don't know if that's after talking and figuring out where potentially maybe they could fit somewhere else, or, being real, maybe today the NIL final check's cleared and they said, you know what, I'm out of here. That's just pure speculation. Don't know that, but that could be a result. Also, the Royals made a 1-for-1 player swap trade, and they're both pitchers. They sent right-handed turned relief pitcher Jonathan Bolin to Philly for a reunion with Matt Strom. If you remember that name, he was drafted by the Royals, I believe. I don't have the exact draft. Let me pull up his information here. He was drafted by the Royals back in In the 21st round of the 2012 MLB draft, he signed with the team rather than transferring to Nebraska at the time, as he was at Nebraska Lincoln. He was committed there. So he ended up going through the Royals organization, made his debut back in July of 2016, and he played 16 and 17 before moving on to the Padres when they traded him for Trevor Cahill, Ryan Butcher, and Brandon Maurer, along with Travis Wood and Esteury Ruiz. That was the trade that sent him. He went to the Padres, but that one is his total win-loss record's 34 and 38, ERA of 3.36, and strikeouts 582 with 15 saves in his career. He's an all-star in 2024. This seems like right up JJ Piccolo's alley, as they needed a lefty in the bullpen, and they did so by swapping a righty, which I think is huge in this. And you look at him coming back to a place he's familiar with. I made a joke earlier. There's one place that he wasn't good. He's in his 6 ERA in the playoffs, but if you make the playoffs, that is big for the Royals, as he's only had a few opportunities in the playoffs. Only, what are we looking at? 17 total games. And he had a better one in 2025 with 3.686 ERA in the 2025 playoffs. But a big trade for the Royals. I think it's a good one. They get their lefty. He obviously getting up there in age at 33, but still, if he made an all-star in 2024, he's got some serviceable years left. He pitched 62 and a third innings this year after 62 and 2/3 the year before. And then in 2023, it was pretty much a high for him. He had 87 2/3 innings in 2013. His career high is 114 innings pitched, but I believe he did start he did start 16 games in that time frame. But looking at the numbers, a 10.1 strikeouts, 9 innings, a 3.5 strikeouts to walk ratio. Pretty darn good for a player you're getting. When you look at ERA at 2.74 last year, his all-star year 1.87. So looks like he's kind of finding a late career renaissance. And as a lefty, it's always great to have that pitching for the Royals. But I think that's a big move for JJ Piccolo. It's been a big week, as it seemed like the Royals weren't going to make any trades. And then all of a sudden, boom, they made some trades. So things are looking good for the Royals. And that pretty much does it for our headlines segment. Actually, we've got another one here. We got some time, it appears. In light of the KU relays not happening this next season, K-State has announced that they will have the K-State relays, the best high school track and field athletes from the state of Kansas and surrounding states will descend on Manhattan this spring, as head track and field coach Travis Geoperf and athletic director Gene Taylor have announced details for the inaugural K-State relays to the RV Christian Track Complex. The meet, which will be held April 10th through 11th, will consist of 6 days, 6 different relay events, as well as 7 different field events, and will infuse the Manhattan community with visitors from all over the state. The unique format will score the relay events and will crown both boys and girls team champion. So they're essentially taking the KU relays and moving them, what is that, an hour and 45 minutes west to Manhattan. So glad to see that they are keeping, one relay event, but having them in a different spot. We will step aside for a break. When we come back, we'll get final word and then send things out to Dan Lucero and the coach, Larry Latimer, as the JV game has concluded, as they get ready for the varsity game coming up here in just a little bit. We'll be back for final word coming up next after this here on 580 Sports Talk on 580 WIBW.
Join the fight for cures. Tell your elected representatives to support American medical research. Visit unitedforcures.org/action to send a letter today. Paid for by United for Cures Action.
When I'm on my feet for long periods of time covering a farm meeting or a football game, I always come back with sore feet, mainly in the arches, heels, and upward in my lower back. It's Greg Akotke, and I have a way that will help eliminate many of those problems. Head over to the Good Feet store. You owe it to yourself to see if Good Feet Arch Supports will help you, and it's free to try. You'll work one-on-one with a Good Feet Arch specialist who spends time with you and understands your goals, evaluates your feet and arches, and then pairs you with your own personalized arch support solution. For the past several months after long days of meetings or games, the thing I notice is after those days, you realize you don't have those pains and how good your feet and body feel. The Good Feet store has decades of product innovation and refinement to improve foot health and quality of life. And it shows with over 80,000 five-star reviews. Get back to doing the things you love. Try for yourself and feel the difference. It all starts with one visit to the Good Feet store. Schedule your free fitting and test walk at goodfeet.com or just stop by the Good Feet store at 21st and Wanamaker near Target.
WIWW Topeka.
Final word time here as we get you go, or we get things wrapping up here on this edition of 580 Sports Talk. Want to give you guys a update on the Washburn women's basketball score down in Lawton, Oklahoma, in the Fairfield Inn and Suites Holiday Classic at Cameron University. The end of one, Washburn has a 15-9 lead over Western Colorado. They've held Western Colorado the last 2 minutes without scoring. Washburn shooting 42% from the field and 50% from beyond the arc. A great start for them. Tune over to our sister station, Country 106.9, if you're interested in that. If not, you can stay locked right here as we have 580 Preps Friday night hoops action, the final for 2025, as Shawnee Heights hosts Topeka West coming up after this break, as Dan Lucer and the coach Larry Latimer will be on the call. And this is it for me for the calendar year of 2025. When I come back, the Chiefs season will be about wrapped up. One more game. We'll be previewing the final game of the season for the Chiefs. But for everyone, have a great rest of your 2025. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate. Talk to you guys in the new year. Have a great rest of your night, great rest of your year, everyone. I'm Spencer Dupuis signing off tonight. We'll send things out to Shawnee Heights after this break as we've got 580 Preps basketball coming up next here on 580 WIBW. Have a great rest of your night, everyone.
Christmas is almost here, and Topeka Big Deals has your stocking stuffers ready to go. Every day from now until Christmas, we're dropping a brand new deal, perfect for last-minute gifting or treating yourself. Today's stocking stuffer, Eagle Auto